What is up, guys? Zay from the Madden YouTube channel. In today's video, going to be commentating over a great game that I had on stream on July the 21st. You guys can check my Twitch channel out in the description. Link is right there, twitch.tv/ZanMadden. You guys are looking for a way to finish the season running a different offense and a different defense. You guys can also get access to my ebook bundle link. Take you straight to my PayHip account where you guys can get my full offense out of the Washington offensive playbook. That's the wing tight U, wing tight, and wing tight Z offense that you'll see in this video, as well as my 3-4 Bear defense. Now let's go ahead and get into this game here. Played a game against a solid, we're obviously in the legend tier of MUT head-to-head, and if you're playing anybody who's still playing this game in July, there's really not too many easy games left to be found. Just try to find some games here. Obviously, you guys know the content, the rollout corners, the aggressive catch streaks, all of that. I thought that this was a great game to post here on YouTube. Now, he's going to be starting off on offense, and as you can see, the first thing that I noticed is Randy Moss on the field. So my philosophy when I face a Randy Moss 100 ability is I'm going to give you everything. I'm going to send everyone probably 8 at the quarterback, and I'm going to make you take a slant. I'm willing to give you 10 to 15 yards on a slant underneath because I want basically to have you in second down and 20 if you are stubborn and force that Moss ability. So free first down for him right there. No big deal. I started off in the near close flex. I thought we were going to get the near close flex and I could kind of just put a clinic on against this guy. But then I found out very, very quickly that the single back doubles flex halfback stretch is a problem. Now you're talking about the 3-4 Bear being my defense. Obviously I don't struggle with the run, but for some reason in this game, I could not stop this guy's stretch game. It took me forever to stop the stretch game. So you can see right here, I'm kind of worried about how he's getting outside. You see right there, I go to a run blitz right there, the bait run defense that I posted last week here on the channel. And he's still working to the outside, getting to the edge very easily, getting outside of the pursuit angle of my middle linebacker. So I decided to flip my front here this time try to do a user gap shoot, leave the slot receiver uncovered, meaning there's no DB over him. You can see that Lawrence Taylor is shaded to the inside. So naturally now he sees that look, he realizes that I'm dedicated to stop the run, and he goes up top. Now right here in the channel, I start telling my chat, it was just a good read by him. They always ask, what do you do when somebody throws out routes? Well, typically when I'm facing someone who runs the ball a lot early, I'm assuming their pass game is pretty elementary, thinking, mainly rollout corners and out routes. So right there, I took a chance. I thought, okay, this is, a short down. I think he's going to throw a baby out route on the outside. I saw the receiver pat his head, and I gambled on it. I went ahead and put a hard flat out there, and my safety in center field couldn't rotate into his deep half in time. So I basically just gave him 7 points, and that's kind of the talk that I always have with people about Bear when they say, how do you stop out routes? It's basically a staring contest. Your opponent wants you to blink and give them a free touchdown down the sideline because they know the 3-4 Bear, the one weakness of the Bear, is that all the defense is single high, meaning you can't give a stock cover 2 look where the corners are in cloud flats or hard flats. So you have to get kind of creative to create some route combinations or some zone combinations to defend spread concepts because the Bear is not the best equipped passing defense in the game. But the reason I run it is because I know so many people rely heavily on the stretch and the run game in general with rollout corners, and I can stop those things very easily from the 3-4 Bear, and I could deal with the rest as it comes my way. So I take off on offense for my first drive, and I am in that aforementioned Washington wing tight U, wing tight, and wing tight Z as I audible from the U into the Z right here. He shows me cover 3 early in this game, and my initial thought is, okay, I've got a bevy of cover 3 beaters that I want to go to. Here's an example of one where that gets Kittle wide open deep as I roll out to the right, suck down the outside third. And I go up top. I actually right there, I tried to decide to throw it away. This is actually a route combination that I fall in love with in this game, almost to a fault. So this actually is not great tape of me, if we're being honest. I think that this was a game of resiliency, the ability to show how you can adapt or stay with things and just kind of stay the course in certain ball games. As I have a 3rd down and 8 right here, audibling into the single back wing tight, which typically with this, I'm looking for a wheel route play. I actually audible into the wrong play right here and end up throwing an absolute laser to Kittle, but because no catch, Kim, no catch. You see right there, I throw a low ball corner, used a hitch route or a smoke screen to the receiver on the left to pull down that flat zone. And I thought I put that in a perfect spot, but the hit stick suction pulled him back up and he drops the ball. So because I've seen him doing nothing but call cover 3 and just switch who his user is, not really making too many crazy adjustments, I'm confident. So I decide to do something I don't normally do in Madden 20, and I go for it on 4th and 8. Normally I punt. I trust my defense, but he moved down the field on me. I feel like I'm going to have to get some points on the board. So I decided to make it a shootout early, and I throw the baby motion corner route to Darren Waller for a first down, moving the chain. So sloppy start. Definitely a sloppy start so far. Right here, again, I know he's in the cover 3. I'm setting up a cover 3 beater dedicated to go to Calvin Johnson right here. Roll out to the wide side of the field. I'm going to motion him to the inside, and I'm going to try to roll out, pull down the outside third, and throw this ball over the top. And I do perfectly, giving me the position. And you can see right there, it says on the run deadeye. On the run deadeye, but somehow, some way, I get no animation out of my receiver. How is it a deadeye throw if my receiver ends up being the defensive player, preventing the free safety from picking it off? So I don't know what happened there, if it was a bad click on, just a bad dice roll on the throw, but the feedback said deadeye, and it was far from a deadeye, as Calvin Johnson didn't even make a play on the ball, even though he had good leverage. And if you guys know how I play this game, if Calvin Johnson is one-on-one and he's got a red X underneath him, he is open, period. He is the best receiver in MUT 20. It's not even close. And, you know, I rely heavily on him as the outside receiver in this offense. And I felt like right there, I kind of had one stolen from me, as I had good positioning, height, all the catch abilities that I needed. And obviously the positional advantage was a huge factor into why I threw that ball, but didn't work out great for me. So right here on this play, you notice my safety rotates late into center field. I have no idea. I still have no idea why my safety rotated. What I did on that play is I actually pressed to work him down over the slot receiver. And then I think my opponent made some sort of audible and quick snap me, because what happened is once he did whatever he did, my safety decided to go back to his original spot, leaving the stretch to the left uncovered. So 2 big stretches end up putting him on the board ahead of me right there. So 14-0, I already know that I'm in trouble early on in this game. I'm really not sure right here. I think I'm asking Chad. I was like, yeah, did you guys see what happened right there? Because I had no idea where my safety went on that play. So it is 14-0 here early on. And, you know, I'm not too worried, just because the fact that I know he seems like he's one-trick pony on defense. Right here, I tried a little swivel spin with Tyreek Hill. I pick up a few extra yards out of it, out to about the 30-yard line. So I come back out on offense, audible from the wing tight, U into the wing tight. And I decide to go to a dive. Quick snap dive, run to the outside, do a swivel spin there, and I get popped. Probably went back to the well on that swivel spin right there. You saw I worked right into a Patrick Willis hit stick. Fortunate to not fumble right there on that play. But again, you're seeing right here, he's just in the 2-4-5, and he's just going to sit in cover 3 sky. And the most he really is going to do is motion, or not really motion, but just slide that purple zone defender out on the wide side of the field, because he doesn't want to give me a short corner. So right here, I go wing tight U, tight into the wide side of the field. I'm probably right here in this look, either planning a run. No, right here, I'm actually going to a quick pass option. I'm trying to roll out, throw that corner route. And he actually played a really good coverage as his defensive back jumped the corner route. I thought I had the pull route there for it, but nothing doing as he jumped that route, passed off the streak to the safety. And that's actually something that I noticed on that play, and I go back to that in this game. I saw, okay, well, if I can get the swap on the wide side, which can get Waller open down the seam, let's go ahead and do that if at all possible. So you see, I glow up Waller again. I'm looking for the same route combination, but this time I want to roll out and throw the ball to B with body positioning, and I do that. And unfortunately, Waller doesn't hold on to it. So trying to get the aggressive catches downfield in the one-on-one scenarios that I can get, getting Waller, who's 6'6", Megatron, who's 6'5". If you guys watch me on Twitch, you guys know that I talk about this all the time. I make fun of it. I say, it must be 6'5" to ride, meaning that if I'm throwing to you, you're probably 6'5". I am running in this game Terrell Owens in the inside tight end position on the right via a package. He's really the only guy that is consistently under 6'5". Right here, my guys are tired from running deep routes. I throw a nice little corner route to, or I'm sorry, post route to T.O. on that cover 3 beater. This time going backside. And I think that right here is where I realize in this game that that is the setup that is going to give my opponent the most trouble. I'm going to have my rollout option to the right, and I'm going to have my option back to the left if they have the rollout corner stop. So right here, I go to a motion to Kittle, and I decide to throw that motion corner route out there. And Kittle, without a catch ability, makes up for that drop on the previous drive and picks me up a first down in traffic. So first down and 10 here, going from the wing tight U, my base formation, into the wing tight Z. And I'm looking for a stretch call most likely here. Going to motion Megatron back to the inside, see if I can get a crack block. I get outside, swivel spin, cuts it back up. Absolute filthy stick work. Sorry about my phone in the background. And I'm able to get in for a touchdown. So 2 drives, both of them pretty promising. A little unlucky on my first one, overthrowing that touchdown. My opponent has basically house called me twice so far in the first half. I'm not super comfortable with where I'm at on defense. I'm actually thinking to myself, the spacing of that single back doubles flex combined with how much I'm struggling against the stretch right now, I might be in for a tough ball game here. So I'm still looking for answers on the defensive side of the ball, which is the rarity. Normally I know what I want to do on defense, and it's finding something on offense to move me down the field. So far, I think I found the balance of the pass play out of the wing tight Z that I like. And I know that I've got the stretch and the dive combination or the run game working a little bit, even though it required a little stick work to punch that one in for 7. So here we go back on defense for the 3rd time in the game. He's still in that single back doubles flex. And he's going to go right back to the stretch, and I overshoot my gap, click off like an idiot, and Bo Jackson goes all the way. Well, not really all the way. Stiff arms Megatron and gets down inside the 10 to the 6-yard line. So again, story of the game so far is I cannot contain the single back doubles flex halfback stretch. And really, I have no one to blame but myself at this point. I mean, it's bad gap shooting. It's bad manual, taking care of my run fits. This time he goes back to the left, and Patrick Willis does a good job filling his lane, stops the run in the backfield for a loss of 3. Second down and goal from the 9. Right here, I'm still thinking he might run the ball, try to make it 3rd and manageable. This could be two-run territory, and I overshoot my gap again, and Edmonds in for a touchdown. So you can definitely see it on my face. I'm very shocked at the fact that he's running the stretch against this 3-4 bear, especially when I'm running my overhang defender to the tight end side. I mean, he's running it right at me, and I'm not making user plays. So down by 2 scores yet again, and honestly starting to kind of wonder right there. I mean, it's sweaty. I don't have an answer. It's not often I don't have an answer for a run, and I'm kind of thinking to myself, okay, what am I going to do? Do I need to switch up who I'm using? Do I need to go to something a little bit different? Do I need to play more of a base diagnosis run defense rather than run blitzing this? Because the run blitz clearly hasn't worked. I think that there are 2 ways to play run defense in Madden. The first of which is obviously the very aggressive 3-4 odd, pinch your D-line, spread your linebackers, and blitz 7. Does a fairly good job at stopping the run. But there are also good run defenses in the game, like cover 3. As you see, this guy sits in cover 3 out of 2-4-5 even. And you have high play recognition in pursuit, and it does a solid job of stopping stretch from time to time as well. Right here, I'm going to go down the seam to Terrell Owens, and he holds onto the ball. So again, you see how good that height, even though T.O. is not 6'5", but you get the height, you get the strength rating of T.O. I feel like that's a big reason why he catches the ball in traffic without catch abilities, and that's one of the reasons he's been on my field all year long. And I feel the same way about Kittle. I actually used Gentry and Gronk for a while in this offense, but Kittle gets the job done. Right here, I'm going to go backside, catchability, Megatron, and right here at this point, I'm definitely upset because it's like, okay, come on, man. Like, I'm throwing the ball to guys with abilities, and I'm not holding on to the ball right now. Which, you could argue one way or the other in Madden that, catch cams are good for the game or they're bad for the game. But when you play a game all year long and you're used to somebody catching the ball consistently with an ability, it definitely bothers you when they don't. That swat was a little bit unlucky for me. Right here, I go to the out route. I throw a touch pass lob. You can definitely see I'm playing on tilt right now. I'm still playing this drive offensively, trying to figure out what I want to do defensively, which is never the mode of thinking that you should have in a game of Madden. You definitely need to be thinking about the play that's in front of you. you got to worry about defense when you get back on defense. It's not going to do me any good to worry about defense if I'm still down by 2 scores next time I have the ball. Right here on 3rd and 10, going to go out to the motion corner route, throw a little touch on it, and I'm able to throw it over the user defender and pick up a first down, moving that chain. So you've definitely seen that I've gone to the well on that. That's been my go-to on 3rd down, especially if he doesn't put his wide side defender out there in a spot to make that play. 1st down and 10 here, going to motion Calvin the inside, most certainly a stretch call. Trying to pin the user to the inside, unfortunately can't do so. Good user pursuit, gain of 0 on that play. So 2nd down and 10 coming up as we're about to hit the 2-minute warning. Not sure if I quick snap him right here. I don't end up quick snap. So we go to the 2-minute warning. You see right there, that's where he starts to really pay attention to that purple zone and motion, or moving him over to the edge to make sure I can't throw that motion corner. So you see right there, I mean, he puts his buzz zone defender, and he's like, okay, you're not having this anymore. So I think to myself, okay, well, if he's going to play all the way out there, maybe we can try to run the stretch at that where he's not setting that edge. But he spin sheds instantly, funnels me back to the inside where Myles Garrett is able to get a reach tackle. And all of a sudden, I'm looking at 3rd and 9. I can tell you right here, this is the worst spot for me to be in because sometimes in this offense, especially when they take away that motion short corner, the quick passing game is going to lie in the 2 inside tight ends. And you saw that I already dropped a low ball corner. I try to go back to that route combination there. I don't trust it, and I take a sack. So content to take my 3 right here. Still down 2 possessions. Not happy about it. It's 21-10 with a $1:20 remaining. Now, right there, as I look back at this, I definitely should have let the clock run. I probably could have left, another 20 seconds before I kicked the ball right there, leaving him with only a minute to go. Part of my mindset here is I've got ball before at half as well, and I want to try to, at least as my video froze right there. Sorry about that. Right here, I'm thinking to myself, okay, I want to force him to try to basically make a mistake before half. It's a big saying. One great user says it all the time. If you listen to the MCS broadcast, I'm a believer of it too. You don't win games before half, but you could definitely lose one. So I love being on defense inside the 2-minute drill in the first half because I find that I can put my opponent into spots where they lose the game more so than I win it. So I decided to play a little diagnose and shed run defense. Bad user yet again. Seems to be a theme here in this game so far, as he now has 6 rushes for 189 yards and a touchdown with Bo Jackson. So my user in this has not done a good job. Right there, I was supposed to kind of get outside and funnel the run back to the inside. I overtracked the ball, tried to play his cutback instead of just letting the defense do its job, and he's able to pick up big yardage. And then again, right there, nice cutback by him. His spellback Edmonds, 3 rushes, 15 yards, as he cuts that back inside. Again, right here, I'm just noticing I'm going to a different run defense. I'm playing like a base cover 3. I'm letting purple zones try to spin shed, just trying to keep everything filtered in. I mean, look at this box. I've got 3 guys covering the guard and the 2 guards in the center. I've got off-ball linebackers over the tackles. I've got outside linebackers shaded outside the tight end gap. And I've got my user in the middle too. And he's got 5 linemen and a tight end. And he was able to really, really give me trouble running the ball. Right there, he goes to just streaks, flats, and a slant. And, because I'm in a base defense, he's able to dump it down and pick up a first down. So I am definitely frustrated right now. You can see it on my face. Normally, I'm not searching for a stop, especially against something like, and I don't mean to sound that way, but this is a very, very simple offense that he's running. It's just stretch and streaks and flats right now. And I haven't been able to get a stop. 21 points, and I'm very, very frustrated. But right there, I found something. I found something that I liked right there on that last run play. You may have noticed that I switched my user on that play. I ran my cover 2 run defense, my run blitz, and rather than using an in the box safety, I used the over the top safety, and I'm using my in the box safety and putting him out over the slot. And then I'm replacing his presence with the free safety in the middle of the field, basically creating a numbers advantage in the box and even numbers on the receivers if I can take care of that. So right here, I start to mix up what I'm doing, bring some pressure off the left side, and I'm able to sack him. But right here, I'm, again, not that confident in my defense so far, as I'm still making sure this is the box for my opponent, that I'm not willing to burn a timeout in this spot. So right here on 3rd and 18, I'm thinking to myself, I can't give him the seam. Last down, I gave him the seam with that vertical hook to Calvin Johnson. This time, I'm making sure Calvin Johnson drops down the middle of the field, and he goes to the run play, breaks a tackle, and we're content to go to half. So actually, he burns a timeout. So right here, I'm thinking, okay, he's probably just going to pop one more run, and then we'll head to halftime. So still a lot of work to be done at this point in my mind, but I know in the back of my head that the run is no longer a problem. I found the combination of run defense and which player I'm using. You see right here, I'm actually anticipating that he's going to throw. So I'm using the box safety rather than the free safety. I've definitely got the free safety in center field. He motions Gentry across. I flip my formation so I can bring pressure off the weak side. And you see right here, we're able to do so, flush him out. He's going to throw the ball up into double coverage. And we're able to get 2.5, 3 defenders there. And score at half is 21-10. But you can see I'm definitely not happy about it. He was really able to do some very simple things, and I just gave him consistent progress down the field in that first half before I was able to find anything close to something that could stop him. And I still even think that, and we'll see this in the second half, definitely some holes in the defense. I always like to look back at tape of games that I struggle. And as I was looking back at things just from kind of like a concept standpoint, even though it's July, I kind of thought to myself, I don't do a whole lot of commentaries on my YouTube channel. It's late in the year. And, I put out that Derwin James one the other day, and it seemed like a lot of people liked it. So I figured I would, go ahead and try to continue doing this. So here in the second half, I'm thinking to myself, let's go ahead and get the ball back into the hands of the running back. Try to soften this guy up a little bit. He's motioning his guys to the outside all the time. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, well, if he wants to make this a 6-man box against, basically 8 blockers, 5 linemen and 3 tight ends, we could definitely soften him up a little bit. So you see right here, I go back to that route combination from the first half. I go to the cover 3 beater, pull his user over to the right, and be able to hit Terrell Owens over the top to the short side of the field for a first down. So I know that that's my money pass play for the rest of this game as I audible into the single back wing tight, most likely looking for a rollout to the right, maybe a corner route to T.O. and a streak to Waller. We'll see what we do here. Yep, corner route. But the problem is on this play, I had a bad route combination on the backside. I ran a skinny post into the same spot that I had the seam route on the strong side of the field, and made his user's job very, very easy. So bad play right there. Right here, I call it dive, good quick snap, and I trip over grass or a shoelace or something. That was a big run right there that kind of got stolen from me. So 3rd down and 11. He's taking away my motion corner. I know that I'm in field goal range right here. I'm probably thinking, do I want to check this down and just take 3, or do I want to try to pick this up? I do know at this point in time that I had a beater to the wide side of the field that my opponents had a user that's opened up TO. So right here, I go to a very different version, and I pass on that throw. I was very nervous about making that throw to TO. It looked like Taylor Mays was flying into that area. I didn't want him to click on and pick it. And I was content to go ahead and ditch that out of bounds, take 3 points, and make this it's basically a full 1 possession. It's 8 points. Got to get a touchdown and a 2-point conversion, but still plenty of time. And I had a little hope on defense to finish off the first half, where I found something that I like to stop the run. And I'm thinking, okay, well, I've cracked the run. Now, if we can get into his mind in terms of his route combinations, I could probably earn myself another stop, maybe 2, if I can get it figured out. So what was a really bad spot, it was 14-0 at first and then 21-10. I'm starting to now feel a little bit confident. There's still some guessing to be done in terms of the pass game, but you can see I kick off the second half in my run defense from the first half, and Devin Bush all of a sudden starts to make plays happen. So a lot of times, if you're really close on a run defense, but the guy's just not making the play, sometimes switching who your user is, believe it or not, changes the effects of the run defense. We talked about that in the bait run defensive video. And you can see right here that instead of using that in the box, Calvin Johnson, I decide right here as we paused again to basically, stick with what I had working in the end of the first half. So this run defense where I user Taylor Mays instead, it's the same run defense, but using a different player causes the offensive line to target me differently, which in turn results in different blocking on my computer players And now Devin Bush is making plays. So 3rd down and 11, feeling pretty good about this. I'm not quite ready to take a gamble, I don't think, on this spot on an out route. Because he hit me up top down the sideline on his first drive, I give him the illusion of maybe a cloud flat and a deep half right there. And I'm sorry that this keeps pausing here. Let me go ahead and keep working through this. But you see right here, I scream off the edge. That run defense doubles as a pass blitz as well, especially when you run it off the weak side. Flushes him into Devin Bush, who is in a contain, and I'm able to get the ball back. You can see I'm still kind of disgusted overall with the fact that, like, I'm definitely frustrated. Like, it's not a game. I don't typically struggle with players like this. Right here, Tyreek Hill on the kick return, swerves it back to the inside, nice little cut, and I'm gone. I was not expecting that. And, we get a little celebratory cheetah time on the chat. If you guys haven't heard what a cheetah sounds like, look it up. It'll shock you, I promise. So right here, normally a spot I don't chase points, but I've made a few bad decisions in this game. So I decided, let's put the offense on the field and chase points. I've got the momentum, was down 21-10, now 9 unanswered. Technically on a 19-7 run since I was down 14-0. So I've got momentum. Going to the wing tight Z. He thinks stretch. As you see with that motion crack block, I call the dive, and he gets bottled up inside. So he definitely keyed into that motion of Megatron. I'm not sure why this continues to do this here. But keyed in on that motion of Megatron on the stretch a few too many times. Right there for the 2-point conversion. I got him to bite on the stretch call. He was soft in the middle, and I was able to run the dive. So right back into the defense, that run defense from the end of the first half, switch the user, and we're able to get a nice little tackle for loss there. So 2nd down and 11. I'm really sorry, guys. I'm not sure why this is doing this repeatedly, but 2nd down and 11 here. So again, going to that blitz defense, that run defense that brings pressure off the edge. Now all of a sudden my opponent has to throw a little bit, and we're seeing why he likes the stretch. 3rd down and 20 coming up as we hit the tail end of the 3rd quarter. Again, guys, you can check out my Twitch channel. I stream live every single day, twitch.tv/ZanMadden, usually early in the afternoon between 1 and 2 p.m. Central Time, as I get a 3rd sack. Now it's 4th down and 28, and definitely looking for the punt unit. So now I'm sitting here thinking, okay, I've got all the momentum. I've got stops in consecutive drives. I've got the punt return. I've got a little thing going on offense. I think that I've got a passing concept that I could go to against this cover 3. I'm feeling pretty good about the last quarter of this game. So we're coming out of the single back wing tight U. Let's take a sip of coffee real quick as we audible into the wing tight. And you can see right here with the ball slightly to the right of middle, I'm going to set up a rollout to the left, looking for Megatron down the sideline. You see right here, he did a really good job, and you can tell right there. I actually tell my chat, really, really good job by him. The first time he made an adjustment all game long to his defense, he either deep halved his outside corner on the right, or he protected the sticks to make sure that his outside third dropped back. So right here, ball on the left hash, 2nd down and 12. I'm needing a big play against the cover 3. I think to myself, let's go ahead and set up that cover 3 beater. I've thrown it to T.O. a couple times. I think maybe this time I can roll out to the right. As you see, he flips his user over to Willis, the importance of that identifier Kim. So I'm thinking he's got to play T.O. right here, and he does. And I'm going to roll out to the right, and I'm going to trust Kittle. And right here, I throw it up, and Kittle doesn't get the aggressive catch. And I am thinking to myself, if in that spot I had the streak Kim, in that spot, that's a touchdown. I just gave away 3 points. So I go to a different package. I take Terrell Owens off the field for Delaney Walker, and I put my man Darren Waller in that spot. And now I'm going to go back to the well right here with this setup. So I'm going to either roll out to the right and hit a corner route to Calvin, the C route, or I'm going to roll out and hit Waller down the seam. Pulls it down. We get Waller, one-on-one body positioning, and I'll tell you what I did there. Terrible user. I got way too wide on that catch reticle. If I hug that catch reticle and make the catch animation going to the right rather than back towards the middle, I guarantee you I catch that ball. So for those at home that want to know on the aggressive catches, very, very important that you guys make sure that your catch animation goes towards the sideline when you're throwing them down the seam rather than towards the middle of the field. You want towards the middle of the field when throwing the ball on the outside. You want your catch animation going towards the sideline when you're throwing down the seam. So right there, the fact that I swerved too far to the right and then had to come back to the middle is the reason Ronnie Lott picked that. But I'm also in awe. Ronnie Lott has made 2 nice catches on aggressive catch attempts in this game. And, one on Megatron, who had a catchability, and one on Waller, who had a catchability. So still pretty impressed with the way that his Ronnie Lott has played that middle third all game long, giving me a lot of trouble. Right here, I blow the coverage, but then I recover, and the fact that he had Gentry instead of anyone else in the game right there is the reason that I picked that off. So fortunate for me that I'm able to get this ball back with 3 minutes and 12 seconds right there as I blew that coverage. And I told you guys as I kind of figured out the run defense that I didn't have a full grasp of what he wanted to do passing wise. I just knew it was very random and kind of rudimentary. And right there, I definitely blew the coverage. If that's Evan Ingram, if that's Waller, if that's literally anyone but Gentry at tight end, that's 100% a touchdown. So kind of on my heels a little bit, despite having momentum, I go to a run to start the first play of hopefully the last drive of the game for me. But you see that he had good run defense again right there. This 2-4-5 has done a solid job for him. And really all he's done is play 2-4-5. He's got 1 pass rush ability, and he's got, the Kims on his 2 users in the middle of the field. But I go right back to the well, and I go to my cover 3 beater with the post route, and Delaney Walker is able to pick up the first down. So my opponent really struggled with this play. He could not use the post route to Delaney and the rollout to the wide side of the field to my C route or my right bumper receiver. So I'm in field goal range. I'm thinking to myself, okay, we just need a first down right here. Let's go ahead and do that same motion. It wouldn't let me snap the ball right here with the same timing. Try to cut to the outside, and Polamalu made easy work of Darren Waller. You see right there, still a solid game running the ball, 9 for 45. But I'm definitely thinking at this point in time that I've ditched away a couple drives with aggressive passing attempts. I definitely had enough that I probably could have run the ball a little bit more. I find myself oftentimes when I'm streaming being a little bit too pass happy, especially in games that don't really matter, like a MUT head-to-head game. As we pause yet again here on this commentary. But in general, when I'm slumping, I think that my passing ratio is way too high, usually above 80%. And those are the games that I tend to lose. I don't think it's healthy in this year's game at all. I think it's healthy to want to throw the ball, especially if you're a proficient passer underneath and you can make them worry about that. It's always nice. Right here, I do a nice little scramble playmaker. I use my flat by the running back as a lead blocker. Kind of a design right there, actually. I don't typically use the swing route, but I knew in this game that I was going to be able to kind of scramble. He's been rushing 3, sometimes base rushing 4. And right there, I was able to get outside and use that swing route up the field. So with a minute 57 right here, I know I've got a field goal in the bag. I go to motion this guy into the slot, kind of in a slot look, and his run defense shows up yet again. It looked like 3 or 4 Bumblebee uniforms on the football right there as he burns his first timeout of the second half. So right here, I know if I can pick up 11 yards, make it 1st and goal, I've won the game, but it's going to be really, really tough. You see right here the way he's played this 2-4-5 is he's played a backside 1 technique, a guy who plugs the A gap between the center and the guard. And on the strong side of the formation, he's playing a guy that is in a 3 technique, which is essentially going to be in the B gap. So you see right here, he's got it. It looks to me like he's just on auto flip, if we're being honest. And it does a really good job of filtering. I mean, high play recognition on his linebackers. They're filling their gaps well. And his user's been pretty solid in this game too, but I'm content to continue running the ball downhill, make him burn all 3 timeouts because I've gotten stops. I mean, again, going back to the first half, he was up 14-0, and then he was up 21-10, and now it's 24-21. So I'm feeling just fine with the way this game is going. The one thing I'm not fine with, though, is the fact that I hadn't solved his streak out route situation on the sideline. And I know that that's going to come here in the 2-minute drill because he needs to pick up yardage and stop the clock. I'm kind of thinking to myself, I don't really know what I want to do on the outside. I could definitely bring the pressure, but if he gets into a quick pass game on the sideline, I might be in trouble. But I'm not willing to compromise the middle of the field. I almost blew a touchdown a drive or 2 prior. He'd hit a couple underneath quick routes, and I need to have guys there to rally and tackle. And if I play a cover 2 look right there, that slant would have been still running instead of 2nd and 3. So I'm content to give him 7 yards and keep the clock running, but also keep in mind I'm only up a field goal. That's a better approach when you're up a touchdown. I can't afford to give him the yardage that easy. So right there, I kind of user the slant, make him throw the seam, try to bait him into it. I had Megatron in a middle third, trying to bait that throw. And unfortunately, I wasn't able to get there in time and play the pick animation, but that was solid defense. So right now, I'll tell you what I'm doing is I'm definitely working Calvin Johnson in either a vertical hook, a middle third, or maybe even a purple zone, which I'll shade into a hard flat. And the reason I want to do that is I want to try to confuse him. Right there, I actually manned up the outside receiver and he got beat on the shallow cross. He goes to a no huddle here. So right here, I'm thinking, okay, let's just go ahead and stay. I'm not going to make too many adjustments to the coverage. I'm not willing to gamble on a quick flat right here because I don't want to give him field goal range. So again, right here, I stay the course. He didn't trust his slant for a third time. I'm able to bring pressure. 2nd down and 16 inside a minute to go. One thing about this mode is that the clock does not tick fast enough. The runoff in this mode is only like a second or two in head-to-head when you no huddle. So this is an eternity. Whereas in, regs or competitive, the other competitive setting modes other than MUT head-to-head, there's a 12+ second runoff. Take a look at the stat line right there, 6 of 10 for 88 yards. So it's not like he's really dicing me up. It's just that I had such a hard time stopping the run in the first half that typically these drives where I figure out the passing game are happening in the second quarter. It's happening with 39 seconds to go in the game. So right here, I try to give a different look, user peppers, and he goes and lobs it up, and it's going to be 3rd down and 16. So one play for the game right here. I'm thinking to myself, okay, I've run the cover 2 invert the entire game. Right here, I'm going to mix it up, and I'm going to go to a look that looks like a heavy blitz, but it's not. It looks like I'm in the buck 0, wanting to bring pressure and mug the gaps. But I can assure you this is a 3-man rush with the nose tackle, the 2 outside linebackers. I'm playing quarters, and he just throws a blind seam and gets a catch animation to Randy Moss right against Calvin Johnson, which hurts doubly because now he's basically in field goal range. And the game was won right there. But, that's something that you got to rise above. It's not something that you should rage about. This type of stuff has happened all year long. I at that point, I can't feel a little bit cheated, though. I mean, I feel like I've thrown balls into traffic with catch abilities, the entire game and not been rewarded with any catches. And there he goes. He hits the out route. Right there, I just couldn't gamble it away. I mean, in that spot, it's like, okay, you almost concede the field goal and, you don't give him that touchdown in that spot. You can't do it. So right here now I'm thinking, I really need a sack right here. I'm thinking to myself, he could be, he's probably going to be throwing the ball here on 3rd and 7. So I play for a sack right here. I'm content giving him another out route. I'm content giving him a seam. In the back of my mind, he's thinking, I've got 3. Let me see if I can get greedy and get more. So I definitely play the seams, and he throws another out route, which was a smart decision. 4th down and inches. I was really wanting him to go for this right here because I love me right there in a 4th and 1 situation. I think I could have baited him into the run. I think I could have gotten him to throw an out route, maybe a hitch right there. But no, he's content to take 3. He needs to stop the bleeding a little bit. Again, with me being on a basically 14-0 run dating back to the 21-10 and overall 24-7. Now it's a 24-10 run overall in the game to come back. He needed to get on the board and force overtime at all costs. Right here, I'm looking at my chat. I'm definitely thinking about the aggressive catch and how cheated I felt with the fact that, his Randy Moss caught that ball. Probably a throw that you make 100 times and you're not going to catch it too often. But right there, it came back to bite me. It's in the back of my mind with 12 seconds left here in the first half. I'm considering maybe one throw towards field goal range. I want to see if I can dial something up, but he ends up showing me the quarters 3 deep, which for me is always a check to the dive and try to be patient. So right here, I'm going to check into the run with Walter Payton. Oh, actually right here, I'm sorry, I don't. Right here, I actually end up going with, I'm going to actually look for a double move to X right here. And I could have thrown a low ball and gotten out of bounds right there, closer to midfield, had I not taken the sack right there. But I definitely had the isolation route one-on-one. That would have been an easy catch with the catch chem with Megatron. Unfortunately, Lawrence Taylor went ham. And right here, I kind of think this is where I check into the run and just try to be patient. audible into single back wing tight. It's just halfback dive to sweetness. I just want to be patient, kind of just, set up my blocks, try to swerve to the outside, nothing doing. And I burned a timeout. I actually picked up solid yardage right there. It looked promising. So I thought, let's go ahead and take another shot at it off the timeout. See if we can make a house call. So again, we're pausing. So with 2 seconds left in regulation, I'm going to go ahead and go into the wing tight Z. And right here, I can tell he wants to manually rush. So I think to myself, okay, well, if he's going to take his user out of the play, maybe I can manipulate over the top. So I try to set up kind of a little rollout. Unfortunately, I wasn't going to be able to get my body turned to throw that all the way back across the field to B, but I can almost assure you if I was able to get turned and running towards Megatron, I might have been able to bomb that all the way out over the top to the left side of the field. So we go to overtime. And I actually win the toss in overtime. I elect to receive. And I'm thinking to myself, kill shot. I'm thinking to myself, I haven't gotten hardly any breaks in this game. I want the kill shot right here, right now in overtime. I don't normally, like in games where I'm playing good defense, I am willing to kick the ball off in overtime. Sometimes, and I'm almost ashamed to say it, sometimes I'm content taking, chances with getting a stop and then getting 3 in overtime over confidence in myself to go down and get 7. That's kind of always been the player that I've been. I trust my defense first and always. But for some reason in this game, I thought to myself, I've given him a lot of blown coverages and he just hasn't diagnosed them. I'm not going to play overtime without realizing that without giving myself a chance to have the ball. But right there scares the hell out of me as I go to the dive and he shoots the gap cleanly. But right here, if nothing else, I get myself set up on the right hash. Now let's go back to that package that I went to at the end of the third quarter. I swapped Kittle out for a catch Kim on Waller, and I threw a pick anyways with a sloppy user. I told my chat at that point in time, hey guys, that was a sloppy user. If I hug that catch a little bit closer, I make it. I promise you. So I roll out, and I go right back to the well. Third time, this time I do the catch running towards the sideline. Waller makes it, and of course you guys get cheated out of the full play. Let me go ahead and roll it back. Let me go ahead and go all the way back to that play again. Sorry about that. Gotta love the internet. But again, guys, I go back to that same route combination. You can see that Waller's on the left. He's not in his normal spot on the right. I wanted him in this spot for this specific setup. I don't need to catch Kim on TO. I don't need to catch Kim on that X receiver on this setup. He knows that I'm going to take that post if I can get it. So he had to guard it. So you see right there, he goes back. Plays too shallow, actually. And then I'm able to roll it out over the top. And again, I make the catch towards the sideline, not towards the defender. And again, it just lags. But I'm just going to go ahead and let it roll here. Go ahead and just click it there. You see that Waller's able to stumble in for the touchdown, and we go out a winner. So a very, very sloppy game. This was a game of resiliency on both sides of the ball. I felt that, I stayed the course. I trusted my offense. I trusted my route combinations. I trusted the abilities that I had on the field. And most importantly, on the defensive side of the ball, after I trusted myself with all my generic setups, I was willing to change who my user was. If I stay using Calvin Johnson in that game, I can assure you that I lose that game. He had almost all of his 200 yards rushing in the first half. The rest of the game, it was a couple underneath checkdowns, a couple runs for positive yardage, and we were able to get ourselves a dub. But you saw right there, 42% completion. I was still able to put up 330 total yards on offense. I went through the air. I definitely think that I didn't rely heavily enough on the run game as a whole. As we take a look back at that catch again, see how I roll out, my C route pulls down the outside third, and I'm able to catch the ball towards the sideline. Again, if you go back to the interception I threw, it's because I got too loose and I had to go back towards Ronnie Lott. But because I was still running the same direction, I didn't change the direction I was running, I was able to trigger that animation running away from Lott, which allowed me to play a one-man catch on the ball. That is why aggressive catching is so good in this year's game. If you can play the animation without swerving towards the defender, you will be able to throw one-man interactions on the ball. As I have a terrible zoom right here. You see, I click on, and the catch animation is in the direction I'm running. If I loop back towards Ronnie Lott, I end up throwing a pick right there. So there we have it, guys. That was game commentary. Again, I'm planning on doing a little bit more of these. especially late in July as we head into August. There's a lot about the game that has been taught this year. There's not a whole lot that you guys didn't know. I still will be doing tip videos, you know, I have plans to do those, but expect a lot more commentaries here on the channel. I just want to take you into the mind of you know, what I'm thinking during these games, and kind of explain why things happen both positively and negatively. Kind of an extension of what I do on Twitch. I get a lot of people that say, I can't catch you live on Twitch. Would you do more commentaries? And I've been against it in the past just because I want to, you know, reward the people who watch me live, you know, with that live analysis. But, you know, it's not too hard to commentate full game film. So if you guys liked the video, please make sure you guys drop a thumbs up. If you have questions about the plays in the game, what was my thought process on something, maybe I didn't speak to something and you want to know why, feel free to ask those questions below. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. We'll see you guys tomorrow with our next video. Until then, this is Zan. Get in the lab and good luck.